is enough said.
What's up, Heat fans? Ernest here, back with another Miami Heat Talk video with a special episode. As you guys see, I got someone here with me. Now, for those of you who are new to the channel, who don't remember, this is my big bro, Ralph. We started this channel back in 2019. We were ER Sports, and for those of you that have been with us from the beginning, I'm sure y'all are like, oh, big bro, welcome back, dog.
Thank you, my brother. Appreciate it.
Want to say something?
Man. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, my man. And then, real talk, thank you for showing my brother the love, the support. Really appreciate it. We were actually talking the other day, and you know what? This started with an idea that my brother gives me the credit. I always told my brother, you know what? I started the idea. You took the ball and you ran with it. I'm proud of you, my bro.
Facts, dog. Thank
you.
Thank you. And you know what? I mean, we've been wanting to bring you back on the channel. You've come back periodically before.
Yeah.
We've had a few episodes with you here.
Yeah.
Last one we had you was off season with the whole Damian Lillard saga thing.
Yes, sir.
And the reason why I brought you back today, and guys, like I cut an episode for Father's Day. We're hanging out together. And we were talking, bro. We're talking Miami Heat basketball. We're talking for like a half an hour. I'm like, dude, we gotta put this in a video. Like, people have been asking about you. People have been asking for your opinion. So that's the reason why we're doing this. So this ain't Miami Heat Talk. This is ER Sports. And we're ready to rock and roll on another Miami Heat Talk adventure. So sit back, relax, ladies and gentlemen. We gonna do this. But before we get to the Miami Heat topic, there is one thing I want to ask you, bro. Because we're currently in the NBA Finals.
Yep.
Tomorrow's Game 5.
Yes, sir.
Boston's currently up. Fucking Boston. Boston's up 3-1 on the Dallas Mavericks.
I know.
And I want your take, dog. Do you think that Boston's closing it out tomorrow, or do you think Luka, Kyrie, and Dallas can make a push?
Can they do it? Of course they can. Look after that Game 4. They routed them, bro. They rocked them by like 30-something points. I think it was
40.
Almost 40 points. That's the potential that Dallas has, man. But I mean, honestly, bro, I've been calling it since the preseason, man. You know we're Heat lifers for life, man. But I mean, Boston had everything they needed. Everything they needed, bro. They were the most stacked team, bro. And I do think that Boston honestly had that letdown because I think they want to close it out in Boston. So my prediction is Boston closes it out in Game 5. Whatever. Congrats.
Hey, I mean, it was the easiest run, but we don't want to hate a championship to championship. I mean, look, if it was us, I'm sure we wouldn't be arguing right now. People can call the question what we did last offseason with Giannis getting hurt, Jalen Brunson getting hurt, and then Jason Tatum getting hurt in Game 7. So you can call the same question for Miami. Fact of the matter is, it's to win a championship, it's about who has the most talented team, but also about who has the most healthiest team.
I think the biggest thing about this Dallas and Boston series is my take home right now, this moment. I think right now that Luka Doncic is going through the growing pains. Yeah. Same growing pains that LeBron went through, same growing pains that Kevin Durant went through, even going way back Kevin Garnett before he got to Boston.
Right.
I think this is one of those where Luka's like, you know what, yes, he made the finals. He's going to have some pains to this and realize, you know what, this is the things I have to do to get this. Just like Jason Tatum.
Exactly.
Honestly, Miami Heat, we're the daddy to Jason Tatum's.
Yep.
Because, you know, I'm sure he's happy he didn't see us. But it looks like Boston's going to take it to the promised land, my man. And Luka's going to be a victim of that. And I think he's going to learn from it. And he's going to grow from it. And I believe eventually he'll be a champion.
I mean, Boston does definitely deserve it. They've gone through the growing pains. Tatum and Brown have been together for a while. Yeah. So it's their time, and you give them their props. Next year, the Heat just need to come back stronger. And that is actually a great segue for the next thing I want to talk about. Because now we're going to go into the Miami Heat. Because there's a lot of stuff to talk about with you. Now, look, we're not going to get to the season. I understand that people are saying blow this team up. But the fact of the matter is, we were only 4 games down from the second seed. Yeah. Both Jimmy Butler, Terry Rozier were injured. Duncan Robinson was injured too, still playing out there. Jaime Jaquez injured his groin. It was an injury-riddled season. So we're not going to get to that. It is what it is. Yeah. But we've seen some trickling going off in this offseason. And the first thing that I want to talk to you about is actually the conversation we were having out there in Mom's kitchen. We're at her mom's house. Shout out to my baby bro, David, for setting us up over here. Appreciate you, little bro. But on to Jimmy Butler, Doug. There's questions about a contract extension. Yeah. Do you give Jimmy Butler that extra year? Do you reward this behavior for not playing the regular season? And when you do play the regular season, half of the times you're basically coasting. You're a $50 million guy getting 13 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists on a game against Chicago when you should be dominating them as the lead guy.
Yeah.
Do you give a guy like that a max extension, or do you tell Jimmy you still have another year with a player option? And players play their ass off in final years of the contract.
Yeah.
So instead of giving you that max extension, you're going to play out this contract so we can get something out of you, and then let's see from there. Or do you think it's best that the Heat should give Jimmy the extension, but the only way it's a max extension, it needs to come incentive based? You have to play 65 to 70 games. You have to make an all-star team so you can give a shit between October to February. You need to make an all-NBA team, whether it's all-NBA or all-NBA defensive, to get this incentive base. So my question to you, brother, those 3 different options I gave you, what do you think about Jimmy Butler's future with Miami?
Well, first of all, thank you for taking my consideration, my ideas into...
Of course, bro. We want to hear from you, bro. It's your opinion.
Not that Jimmy Butler gives a shit, but I mean, whatever. or the rest of the league or
sure
anything like that. Subscribers, much love again. Look, you just mentioned a moment ago. You said a lot. An extra year? Of course. We can give him an extra year. But we know how Jimmy Butler rolls. He wants that security. He wants a long-term deal. Yep. We played this already out in Minnesota when he was a Timberwolf. That's how he ended up a 76er, because Minnesota didn't want to do it. And that was Butler 6 years ago. Yep. You know what I'm saying? 6 years younger. Right now, my brother, I think right now, as in terms of the Miami Heat, I'm a Heat lifer. I love the Heat. And you know what, guys? I remember when Jimmy Butler first got to Miami and Stephen A. Smith, he even came out and said, he will never be loved like Dwayne Wade. Of course, there's only one Dwayne Wade, but Himmy, we love you. We thank you for everything you've done. But honestly, we have to play the result right now, bro.
Yep.
And the reality of it is he doesn't prioritize the regular season. So when you give somebody a contract, you don't give somebody a contract just for the playoffs. You give them throughout the whole regular season. And seeding's very important. We've already seen it. My brother was even mentioning to us when we were close to the play-in, when we could have had a chance to go ahead and beat Indiana, and we could end up with the 6th seed. Imagine how our playoff fortunes could have changed. And Jimmy Butler would not have gotten a meniscus injury in the play-in.
Yeah.
Of course, we're playing the result. I think Jimmy Butler is thinking in his mind, you know what, I've played this fucking song before, excuse my French. He's played this route before, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no big deal. I'm going to do what works for me, and I'm going to continue to do what has been working for me up to this point. Unfortunately, father time always catches up to you.
Yep.
You know, you have to go and take into consideration, you know, your game doesn't age gracefully. That's why Stephen Curry plays the way he does at the level that he does, because he has a different playing style than Jimmy Butler. Even though Jimmy Butler has that three-point shot, has developed it over time, he doesn't have that craft, that style like Kyrie Irving does.
Exactly.
Like Stephen Curry does. Or a guy we're going to get into later, like Trae Young does. Trae Young is going to age gracefully because these are guys that go ahead and they predicate their game around their perimeter shooting. Jimmy Butler's built differently. So, bottom line at the end of the day is this. Jimmy Butler's going to have to get to a point, he's hitting a crossroad right now where he's going to have to go ahead and meet halfway with the Miami Heat. Like, look, yes, we want you here long term. Yes, we want you to retire at Miami Heat. But we have to take in consideration the salary cap rules in the NBA right now. And bottom line, a player at that age with his injury history to commit that type amount of money to him, it's going to strap us. It's going to strap us in our ability, the things we're able to do with roster changes and roster movement moving forward and everything. And I think if I'm Pat Riley and I'm Eric Spoelstra, because Eric Spoelstra has his hands on that as much as anybody else, I'm going to have to say to Jimmy Butler, you know, Jimmy, we want you here. We love you. We want you to retire your Heat, but we need you to prove it. Yeah. We need you to prove us that you are worth that type of maximum contract offer. And honestly, my brother, not to be negative or nothing like that, I don't think it'll happen. I don't think it will happen. I think that Jimmy Butler is going to go ahead. Yes, he's going to go ahead and play out this year. Yes, he's going to do his thing in the regular season. But this is just the style that he does. This is how he does his way. This is how he likes to move forward. Kind of similar to Kawhi Leonard. Yeah. The Clippers gave him to Kawhi Leonard. Now, they gave Kawhi Leonard a particular contract. They gave him, if I'm not mistaken, a 4-year, $141 million extension when he was eligible for a certain amount more than that. But Kawhi met halfway with his team. Kawhi said, okay, you know what? This is how I want to go ahead and manage myself. Okay? So Steve Ballmer and the Clippers told Kawhi, okay, this is how you want to do. We're going to meet halfway with you. Yeah. But this is the amount of money we're going to give you. Yeah. Kawhi agreed. Yeah. If Jimmy Butler's willing to do the same, yeah, it's all fair game.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you want to play, if you can only play 55 to 65 games, because let's be real, what happened with Tom Thibodeau, his time with Chicago? Yeah. You know, those knees are not what they were. So I understand, and that's why I said incentive based. Yeah. I'll give you $50 million. Just play 65 to 70 games. make an all-star team. So that way, because we know Jimmy, from October to February, he doesn't do anything. Then he's like, playoff mode comes.
Yep.
And you know what, bro? It's kind of like what Pat Riley said in the press conference in the offseason. He doesn't have to give him the extension.
Yeah.
What happened? This is the thing about the NBA that I don't like. It's like, oh, when I have one more year left on my contract, technically 2 years with the play option, you got to give me an extension. No, the fuck I don't. No. You play off the last year of your contract. You can become a free agent or opt in your player option. Yeah. The only problem that I have with giving him this extension fully guaranteed, and why I'm afraid, because of what we did for Kyle Lowry. We gave Kyle Lowry that 3-year contract at the same age that Jimmy is, the starting age, same age, and it bit us in the ass. So I understand the hesitation. I'm really interested in seeing how this plays out. Because July 7th, we know Bernie Lee, who's Jimmy's Butler's agent, will ask for the extension, and it's up to Pat Riley to say yes or no. And we will know more from there. But one thing that the Heat can control, one thing that we do have control on, because we don't know what's going to happen with Jimmy Butler, but there's something else that's going to happen before Jimmy gets picked up. There's going to be something else that happens before free agency. The draft.
Yeah.
We got a really exciting draft, bro. We are the team that takes chicken shit and turns it into chicken salad with undrafted players.
Yeah.
And now we are about to have 2 draft picks in this draft. We have the 15th pick, which is a great pick. Look what we did with Jaime Jaquez with the 18th last year.
Yeah.
And we have our second round pick, the 43rd pick. Now, look, excuse me. I know it's really hard to talk about players' name with the 15th pick because it's really what falls to you. So my question for you, bro, we know certain holes this team has. A center, a big man. We've been clamoring for that for years. But there's also certain point guards like Jared McCain, Devin Carter. These are guys that can answer the question for Terry Rozier. Because Terry Rozier's only on the contract for the 2 years. Or you can get another wing player like a Jacoby Walker. So my question for you, bro, maybe not talk a specific player, but what do you think the Heat need to focus on? What are their needs they need to focus on in this draft?
15th pick, you go with the best player available. Regardless of position. You Heat lifers, you guys remember in 2003 when Pat Riley wanted to draft Chris Kaman?
That's right.
Because he wanted the big guy. Who else was available, my brother, at the 5th pick? Dwayne Wade. Yeah. Oh, when we introduced him, remember in Miami-Dade County, they called him Wade Jones?
Yep.
Yeah, I got it.
Wade Jones.
So, yeah, so I am the type of person where when you have a 15th overall pick, and you mentioned Jaime Jaquez, I think Jaime Jaquez would probably be the 5th pick overall in this year's draft.
Yeah.
That's how, unfortunately, this is a draft. It's one of the weakest drafts in years. They're comparing it to the 2013 draft when, hold your breath, Anthony Bennett was the first overall pick. But Giannis, you know what pick was he?
The 8th pick, right?
15th overall. Wow. So, and you know what? I'm sorry if I'm inaccurate. He like first. I mean, I'm speaking on the moment. But if I'm not mistaken, if Giannis wasn't 15th, he was either 14th or 5th. He went around like that pick.
Yeah.
So, you go with the best player available. Me personally, if I'm looking at it, bro, and I'm looking at the draft around, I don't know many guys, but there's one guy hovering around that pick. That's Rod Holland. Rod Holland, that point guard. Yeah. He's one of those guys that, you know what, unfortunately, he didn't have that season that was expected out of him. He was a high recruit coming out of high school, coming into college, and it didn't really fold for him. But I look at his style of game, the way he can play, it's kind of similar to a Kemba Walker type.
Okay.
A guy that can go ahead, he can stroke it from the 3 ball, he can play make and things like that. Little, I would say not undersized, but doesn't quite have like that build that you want for the NBA game. That's why he doesn't really propel to the top 5 threshold.
Okay.
But he was a high recruit coming out of high school.
He really was.
And he's one of those guys that's really being slept on right now a little bit. So other than that, my brother, I mean, if you kind of talk about fit, you never have enough room for shooters. You can always use more. You know, yes, you could talk about bigs, but in today's NBA game, you know, I'm not thinking about guys who could possibly be like Walker Kessler or Rudy Gobert and things like that. I'm looking for a guy who's looking for, I'm sorry?
Like a Zach Edey.
Yeah, sure. You know what I'm saying? Any guy that you feel. But look, at the 15th overall pick, bro, I mean, yeah, when you have a championship-ready team, you might want to go ahead and go for need so you can plug and play. But I think right now, the way the team is built, we don't have that luxury to go with need. I would say go with the best player with the best upside. That's why we took Nikola Jovic. You know what I'm saying? I felt at that pick where we took him, he had the highest upside. Hasquez, you know what I'm saying? He's proven everybody where when he got picked in that pick, it was a lot of questions around there. Like, damn, he could have gone lower. So honestly, at the end of the day, my bro, my trust is in the Miami Heat scouts. Yeah, our scouting department. We're gonna go out there. We're gonna scope out the international teams, international players, and everything. And regardless of position, if the best player available is a shooting guard, we take a shooting guard. Yes, we have Tyler Hero at Hasquez. We take another one. If the best player available is a player like in terms of power force like Ben, you go with the best player because right now we are in the transition, bro. That we have our young guys, but we have our veterans as well. I don't think we have that luxury right now to just go ahead and pick need. Remember, Kaman, Wade. We didn't need Dwayne Wade. You know, we needed a big man, but we took Dwayne Wade, and the rest is history.
Yeah, you're right.
So that would be my approach.
I definitely agree with you, and like, I mean, even with the second round pick, you know, people will scoff at that.
Bronny Jones. I'm Bronny James.
Yeah, well. Let's see if he falls there. But look, Miami Heat took Josh Richardson in 2015, and he became a better player than the first round pick, Justice Winslow. Yeah. The Heat know how to pick these players. They've hit it out the park.
We have a great scouting department.
Bro. 2017 Bam, 2019 Tyler Hero, Nikola Jovic, Jaime Jaquez. You could say Precious Achiuwa, but we got Kyle Lowry.
Kyle Lowry? No, not Kyle Lowry.
We did. Anyways,
we're not editing, bro. I got you.
Moving on, what I'm saying. Precious Achiuwa was still a good pick. But anyways, getting away from the draft. After the draft, you have free agency.
Yeah.
But the Heat can't really make moves in free agency. So what's an upgrade that he can do? A trade. There's been a lot of names that have been thrown around, bro. And the offseason hasn't even hit. But there's so many names being thrown. I'm going to throw a few at you. Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
Lauri Markkanen. Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, all these guys I've made videos about.
Yeah.
Now, with Donovan Mitchell, there's rumors he may re-sign with Cleveland. But my question for you, bro, do you see a player out there that realistically the Heat should either push for a trade, maybe can make a trade, or do you think it's best to just keep this team as is and see what pops up?
Look, I believe in our team. I believe in our team if we keep it as is. Look, what happened to us in the playoffs? Not only did we lose that game to Indiana, we fell to the play, and Jimmy Butler got hurt. Terry Rozier got hurt. He was tearing it up. Yeah. He was having some big-time games and everything down the stretch. And you know what? At the end of the day, it was circumstantial. No Jimmy Butler, no Terry Rozier, and we ran to Boston Celtics, which I've told my brother since day one. They're the best team in the NBA.
Yep.
They're the best team. They have the best roster. It is what it is. It was their time. You know what I'm saying? And they went ahead and they pulled it through. Right. Look, you could make an argument to go ahead and stand pat. See how this team can unfold. The continued progress and development of Bam, Hasquez, Jovic, Hero. The pieces are there with the veterans, with Love, with Butler, with Rozier now there, and Duncan Robinson, you know. Yeah. The argument is there, and plus where we bring in the draft, we have our mid-level exception. You always famously say the $5.2 million veteran exception, you know. But at the end of the day, we just have to see what is our baseline. Are we bringing back Butler? Obviously, I would say yes. We're going to bring back Butler. I don't think Butler's going to be Minnesota Butler, but there is something there. You don't go ahead and have a conference like that Pat Riley did and say the things that he said and not have something there. There has to be a conversation that takes place between Butler, between Pat Riley and the front office, and see where are we? Are we on the same page? Because if we are on the same page and Butler's there committed to the team, whatever Riley says, regular season, whatever the hell he's being anal about, you know what I'm saying? Stop trolling, stop talking shit. Go ahead, man up during the regular season. But I'm gonna play devil's advocate here, bro. At the same time as this, Butler does management. Yeah. I'm sorry, it's player management, whatever. Yeah, load management. Sorry, guys. Load management. But he's proved his track record in the playoffs.
Exactly.
He's proved what he can do. If Butler was struggling in the playoffs and coming up short, then I would go ahead and have more of an argument against Butler. But he's shown it, bro. He's shown it. So he's done more than Kawhi. Kawhi has his low management. What the fuck has Kawhi done to Clippers? Sorry, excuse my friend. What has he done? What has he done? Butler has shown up. Hit big shots and take us to the finals. Oh, we haven't won the championship. Bitch, look at the rest of the league. You know what I'm saying? Look, Butler has taken us, in the last 5 years, 3 Eastern Conference Finals and 2 NBA Finals appearances, bro. Facts. You know what I'm saying? With quote-unquote, with not an elite player.
Yeah.
And Butler's done it. So, at some point, Pat Riley, he's gonna have to get past himself, bro, and he's gonna have to say, okay, you know what? This is your proven track record. This is what you've done for us. You know what I'm saying? It's laid out right there on the table. You know what I'm saying? So him and Jimmy have to sit down and realize what's best for the team. And if Jimmy Butler is on board and he's willing, I'm not saying don't give him an extension. If that's what makes him happy, let's make him happy. But let's give him a Kawhi extension. Kawhi took way less than he could have because he's doing this load management. As long as Jimmy's willing to do the same,
that's what we need.
I'm all on board. I'm Himmy for life, and let's bring him on board. If Jimmy wants one of those max contracts, he's going to have to look in the mirror. He's going to have to realize and say, you know what? I mean, I'm not that level of player at this stage of my career. And now Pat Riley's going to have to go ahead. So we don't want to run too long on this. So I'm going to play devil's advocate on two different roles. Jimmy goes ahead and commits. We give him the extension. He gives us that hometown discount. He meets halfway with Pat Riley. Now we can say, okay, you know what? The trajectory we're going in, we're committed to Butler, okay? We know we got Bam locked up. Now maybe we can go ahead and flip some of these younger pieces and go ahead and bring a veteran. You mentioned the name, bro, Trae Young. I think Trae Young would fit on this team like glue. Like glue, like a glove. Because he's a sniper. And we know he has a lot of deficiencies defensively, but offensively, this guy is a wizard. He's an excellent passer. He can pull up from 35. Fuck 30. Excuse my French again. You know, and he can create offensively. And you may, but Ralph, what about Rozier? I'll bring Rozier off the bench. I think Rozier could be sixth man of the year, and his scoring ability off the bench is great. You don't have to play them together. What type of package we'd have to give? Of course, we're talking about Duncan Robinson. We'd probably be talking about Tyler Hero. So we have to get a little bit creative.
But you can use your $5.2 million exception to get a defensive shooting guard to play next to Trae Young.
Think about it. That position, bro, is at a premium right now. That's not at 5.2. That's your $10 million mid-level exception. So those guys do not exist at 5.2.
But you can bring back DeLon Wright. You have Josh Richardson. Like, in my opinion, these are guys that you can play next to Trae, because Trae's going to drop 25 to 35 points. What you need next to Trae is a defensive stopper.
Exactly.
I mean, look, I'm not talking about the starting DeLon Wright, but I think Josh Richardson, look at his numbers this past offseason. 9.9 points a game, 4.4 rebounds, 3.4 assists. Playing next to a guy like Trae Young, why not? Like, I think you can make it happen.
Of course you can make it happen if you have Trae Young, bro. You can make anything happen, especially when you have Bam Adebayo and you have Butler on your team, you know? But it all depends what is the approach. If Butler commits, then you make a move like that. That's going to move to the second apron if we're not there already.
Oh, no, we're not there. We're
we're going to be there. We're Trae Young, we're going to be there.
Well, no, not necessarily, because remember, if you're making a trade... If you're trading Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson, you're not, because it's basically the same numbers.
It's about what Trae Young makes.
Exactly.
Because now we can't integrate contracts. Now you have to do dollar for
dollar. That's
dollar.
only when you're second apron. Neither team is second
apron. We will
apron.
be with Trae Young.
No, not if you're trading. Look, the way the numbers work, just a little education. The way the numbers work, Trae Young makes about $48 million, I believe. I don't have the numbers in front of me. Tyler Hero's 48, right? Okay, so Tyler Hero is 27, Duncan Robinson is 19. So you're going to get the numbers closely to match.
But you got to remember how Trae Young's contract progresses over the next
You
year.
will be a second apron team moving forward. I'm not this offseason.
Oh, you talking about this
offseason.
Just got to clarify.
Yeah.
Okay, this offseason. Okay.
Which we're not. So the cool thing is that if a trade is made, we can make it happen. Being a first apron team, we still have a little flexibility. So we could make that happen. What happens after next season is fine. But you've mentioned a name a few times, bro, and this is one thing, and this is to close out the episode, but I want to ask you. Bam Adebayo. Our captain. Our guy who I feel is our recruiter. He's the most likable player in the NBA. He's 26 years old. He's entering his prime. But he's also contracted. He also has he's available for a contract extension. Eligible, for a contract extension. So my question to you, he has 3 years left in this contract. He was eligible for a 4-year, $215 max extension. Didn't get that because he didn't make an All-NBA team. So you can offer Bam a 3-year, $165 million extension. Does the Heat offer it? If they do you think Bam accepts it? Or do you think Bam is going to wait till next year to try to make the All-NBA
So
team?
just to retract, if he makes the All-NBA team, he's eligible for a 4-year, $245 million deal.
Next year.
Yeah, next year, And if he doesn't, he's eligible for the 3 years, $165 million. Look, at this point, my brother, you're committed. I know me and my brother, we had like a conversation off topic, and we had to wonder, we love Bam, but do we love Bam at $245 million? And one thing I have to agree with my brother is, you're right. He is our franchise player. He's the guy that we're building for in the future. And that's what you do. You go ahead, you commit. We're the Miami Heat. You know what I'm saying? We take care of our players. You know what I'm saying? And he's the one that is our building block on this team. And honestly, like I said, you go ahead and you commit to him and you build around him at this point. And then, like I said, we have to go and play the flip side, bro. If Jimmy Butler is not committed, then you have to look at, you posted a video the other day about possible Jimmy Butler trade to Golden State. You know? That could be a scenario where, especially if Golden State's willing to dangle Jonathan Kuminga and a couple draft picks and Jimmy Butler's not willing to commit to us. And you mentioned, by the way, about that second apron, right? If Jimmy Butler can go ahead and negotiate with us, we can avoid that second apron with that number. And that's what I was getting at. So the thing is, guys, just so you know, me and my bro, that's my son. Happy Father's Day, by the way.
Appreciate you.
When we have debates, it's not contradicting each other. It's because I'm thinking one thing, he's thinking the other. As long as Jimmy Butler can go ahead and be on the same page with Riley, even bringing a guy like Trae Young, we could be within that apron.
That's true.
That's it. Now, if he wants a max, like the top dollar and things like that,
which is what he said he's want. Yeah.
Then we get into issues. But that's what we have to decide. Where is Jimmy Butler's mindset? Is he committed to the team and to continue to contend? And as long as he's willing to, bro, there's a window there.
There's a window.
Yeah.
That's right. My dog, oh my God, like, we've gone through so many topics. We've gone through so many options. I really feel like I've talked about this stuff before, but now you give a different perspective. You've said stuff that I haven't said before. And now, we want to leave it to y'all. Followers, the subscribers, the people that watch this video, everything that my brother said. What do you guys think? Jimmy Butler's contract extension. What's your opinions on that? I know a lot of you have told me in the past, but now that we're getting closer, the draft is around the corner, free agency is around the corner. What's your thoughts on Jimmy Butler?
Yep.
What's your thoughts on Bam Adebayo? These two extensions are coming up this offseason. Do we give it or do we wait? What do you think about the draft? What is the best option? Do you agree with my brother? Getting the best player. Yeah, getting the best player available. Or do you think, no, Ernest, it doesn't matter. As long as you get a center or a point guard, that's best.
No.
What do you guys think about the trade options? Should we go all in on a certain player right now? Or should we hold off? Maybe wait till after this Jimmy Butler situation. Because in a few years, Luka Doncic is going to be a free agent. Jason Tatum may be a free agent. These are players that may be available. So if you can create some space.
You took the words up. I was going to close it on that.
Ooh, there you go.
I was going to close it on that. Jason Tatum hasn't signed his extension. I know Boston's on the verge of winning a championship.
He will if they win a championship. Come on, bro. He's going to sign a monster extension this offseason. But Luka might not. Yeah. Dallas loses. Luka Doncic is the player. Hey, I just picked up Luka Doncic in the 2K thing. I was doing a 2K build for the Heat, and I picked up Luka. I'm just saying, you guys, we want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think? Throw some ideas in the comments. But guys, please take a moment, smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. We are literally around the corner to 4,000 subscribers. When we go to 4,000 subscribers, I want to do something for you guys. We didn't hit the mark by Father's Day weekend, but I'm going to come up with something different. I'm trying to give y'all stuff. But before we close out, bro, you want to say anything?
Love you.
Thank you.
Proud of you.
Thank you, man. And that
is enough.